It's 3, 2, 1, blast off as we skyrocket into today's trending stories. Here's a look at our hot topics brought to you by Walton Arts Center. America's first black astronaut candidate has finally made it to space 60 years later, flying with Jeff Bezos' rocket company. 90-year-old Ed Dwight blasted off from West Texas with 5 other passengers on Sunday. Whoa. Dwight, I know, he is pumped. Dwight was an Air Force pilot when President John F. Kennedy championed him as a NASA astronaut candidate, but he wasn't picked. This trip, though, made Dwight the oldest person in space. He eclipsed the record of Star Trek actor William Shatner, who flew in 2021. This was Blue Origin's first passenger flight since a rocket crash nearly 2 years ago. But how exciting is that?
Well, what an interesting factoid, too. I didn't know that the Star Trek actor actually went to space.
That's right,
in 2021. So it's a real deal now? We're going to see like the big ships and stuff like that? We're going to go light speed?
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
We've been watching it play out on the movies for so many generations.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to have to do like space weather forecasting eventually, too. Going to have to learn about supernovas and
that's
other
right.
things.
What's happening? What's the weather look like on the moon today, Josh?
Yeah, I bet the models are just as bad for that as they are for the weather here on Earth.
Maybe but so excited for Ed Dwight to see him blast off into space.
Yes.
60 years after he was a candidate to make that happen. So very cool.
Yes.
Well, here's some sad news out of Hollywood. Dabney Coleman, the mustachioed character actor who specialized in smarmy villains like the chauvinist boss in 9 to 5 and the nasty TV director in Tootsie, he has died. A 6-footer with an ample black mustache, Coleman went on to make his mark in numerous popular films, including as a stressed-out computer scientist in War Games, Tom Hanks' father in You've Got Mail, that's one of my favorite roles of his, and a firefighting official in The Towering Inferno. He did win a Golden Globe and an Emmy Award. Some of his recent credits include Ray Donovan and a recurring role on Boardwalk Empire, for which he won 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. Danby was 92. And I remember him, there's a movie called Cloak and Dagger where he kind of plays this superhero sort of character with maybe Fred Savage, I think, from my childhood. I'm curious for you, Josh, you're thinking about your childhood.
Yes.
What actor stands out to you from that time?
Oh, this one's pretty easy for me. Tom Kenny.
Okay.
The voice of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Okay.
Yes, and I still want to figure out, how he's been able to do that voice for so long. Because have you seen the process of him like voice acting?
I have not. Fill me in.
Yeah, so like when he does like the SpongeBob laugh, right? Like he goes like that, like with his like throat and stuff like that. He's been doing that for over 20 years.
Does
now.
he use his fingers to
Yes.
tap his vocal cords?
He does. Yeah, like he taps his vocal cords. Like look it up and stuff like that. It's like absolutely incredible. But like they've got like over like 500 episodes of SpongeBob at this point or something like that. And he's been doing that since 1999.
Wow.
Man, get that man a pay raise because he deserves it. He's been cooking.
Absolutely, yes. Well, yeah, those actors we see as young people do have a lasting impact on our lives. Sort of, Dabney was one of those for me. China's Great Wall Marathon is back, Josh, after a 4-year suspension due to COVID. So some 800 runners from around the world lined up at a starting line to take on the Great Wall. Runners say it's a real test as the wall takes you up and down, navigating more than 5,000 steps. The temperature was in the low 80s, which didn't make it any easier. Runners from 58 countries took part. The biggest group was from the United States with 88 runners. More than 360 people ran the full marathon. More than 350 completed the half marathon, and another 100 crossed the finish line in what is called the fun run category.
Yeah, fun run going up and down like big hills and big steps and stuff like that.
You got to put that in air quotes because I'm not sure how fun it would be. But.
Yes, exactly. Now, I was going to say this. I've actually ran a marathon before, 2019 Little Rock Marathon. And that course is very flat.
Yes.
They call it a PR course, right? PR meaning personal record and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was dying at the end of that, so I can't even imagine this one.
My first marathon was flat as well. I was exhausted.
Yes.
Let's get to some box office news now, Josh. John Krasinski's Imaginary Friends movie, If, claimed the top spot at box office this weekend.
Nice.
Its $35 million North American debut was a bit lower than some projections. Is that an ominous sign of the box office times? It has certainly been a bumpy start to summer. Starring Ryan Reynolds, Kaylee Fleming, and an army of A-list voices, including, check this out, Steve Carell, Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Louis Gossett Jr., Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and Maya Rudolph. If was an original idea from Krasinski, who wrote, directed, and co-stars. Now, one of my favorites of the summer so far, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, continues to be a bright spot. In just 10 days, it surpassed $100 million domestically and $237 million globally.
Wow.
Yeah, huge take for that movie. So the enduring story of the apes, somehow they keep sticking around.
I know. They've been around like since what, the 1960s now? And they're still cooking with gas right there. I love it. But man, what a fantastic movie that was. I got to say, though, Ryan Reynolds and If, more of a kid-friendly movie, and then we're transitioning to Deadpool and Wolverine. That's going to be jarring to see.
Yeah, no, it is going to be jarring to see. And you can see the rest of the top 5 right there on your screen. The Strangers horror movie came in 3rd, and then repeats for The Fall Guy and Challengers still in the box office top 5.
Nice.